one movie I was looking forward to most this year was The Bad Guys 2. Not only because I'm a massive DreamWorks fan, I mean come on, I love most of their movies, but also because I genuinely really loved the first movie. It felt quite unique to most of their recent movies at the time, also still retaining the style of humor. The animation was truly something unique that DreamWorks hadn't done before. Something like Snoopy and Charlie Brown the Peanuts movie or Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse had on the art style of a lot of animated movies nowadays. DreamWorks has even used it multiple times since, with movies like Puss in Boots: The Last Wish and Dogman. I probably should have mentioned this first, but it's based on a long-running book series by Aaron Pallabi. DreamWorks has done a lot of adaptations of books before, like even Shrek was based on a book, and most recently they've done Dogman. And Dogman is genuinely my favourite film of the year so far, as at the time I'm recording this. Though DreamWorks can still cook, as if The Wild Robot didn't prove that enough. I also really likes the characters, I likes the arc Wolf goes through, and I even thought the villain was quite funny, even if you can kind of see that he's a villain from a mile away. For some reason, 60% of the people I know want to f*** every character in that movie, and I don't see the appeal. Lois from Family Guy also played a police officer, and she was one of the best characters in the entire movie. It had a running fart joke that was genuinely funny. An accomplishment it is.
This award is for...
They even had a short before Dogman called Little Lies and Alibis, which was really funny. These guys will never ever get a job. I completely forgot, but they also had a couple of Netflix specials, like a Christmas one and a Halloween one. There was also a bonus shot on a DVD where they rage bait Lois. Anyway, point is, I was really excited for this, and I think it has potential to be DreamWorks' next big franchise, like Kung Fu Panda or Trolls. I'm surprised that he released the trailer 9 months before its release, considering DreamWorks usually does it around 3 to 5. Also, my cinema's doing cups for the goddamn Smurfs movie, but not this, even though this will obviously make more money. What the hell, man? Also, it's a weird move to release this around the same time as an MCU movie. I mean, it's literally coming out the same weekend in the UK and a week after in the US. Same day as The Naked Gun 2025, which will be a certified banger, I'm sure. So let's dive into this movie to see if it lives up to my expectations. Okay, I just want to quickly say that this review will have spoilers in, but there'll be a specific bit for spoilers in this video, so I'll tell you when that's about to come. Okay, so first off, holy moly, there's so much to unpack here. The animation in this is goddamn spectacular. Like, it's even better than it's presented in the trailers. They changed some shots in the trailers to be different, I'm guessing for spoiler purposes. Like, especially during the action scenes, the animation is freaking stellar. Like, there's some brief bits where it just goes fully 2D for a few frames, like it's a really detailed storyboard, and I love that. A good majority of the third act of this is set in space, and the animation there is spectacular too. I'd say the best looking scene in the movie is definitely the scene where they're climbing up the rocket. Sadly, this isn't animated in-house by DreamWorks, as they've been outsourcing their animation since after The Wild Robot, but the animators over at Sony Pictures Imageworks did a fantastic job with the movie, but the pre-production was done in-house at DreamWorks, if that means anything. Honestly, I'd say the animation's even better than the first. The storyline's also quite interesting too. Basically, the bad guys are struggling to adapt to their life as the good guys, as they keep getting rejected by jobs due to their past work, causing people to have biases and wrongful perceptions. However, they're forcefully thrusted back into their old life when a group called the Bad Girls wants their help for a heist. To dive a bit deeper into it, someone's basically been stealing items made of MacGuffinite, so they try to find out who it is. The piranha fart jokes definitely felt funnier this time because one of them actually serves a purpose. There's also some great comedy to be found with Mr. Snake's relationship with one of the bad girls, Doom. She's the bird. She's also voiced by Natasha Lyonne, who also voiced Mama Poot in Smurfs, and she also showed up in Fantastic Four. That is the third time I've heard her voice in a movie this week. Mr. Shark also has some really funny moments, much like the first movie, mainly helped by Craig Robinson's voice performance as him. The voice acting as a whole was really strong, much like the first, like Sam Rockwell as Wolf, Zazie Beetz as Diane, and even newcomers like Daniel Brooks as Kitty. The characters are even better than they were before. I feel like Wolf in this movie just goes to show how far he's come since the original movie. Everybody in this has a role to play, and I really like that. I love the way they implemented Diane into the story and how it ties into the first movie somewhat. The Bad Girls are also great additions to the franchise. I liked Pigtail, I really liked Doom, and Kitty was very menacing. There's also some nice character arcs too. I really want to get into spoiler stuff, so I'll just say it's a fantastic movie. You should definitely go and check it out when you get the chance, even if you thought the first one was just okay. Okay, so the movie does start off very strong. There's like an opening heist thing where they're they're robbing this guy's car. This guy does actually come back later in the movie when they're doing a heist at like a wedding. I'll get to that soon. And I like what they did here. It's like Tarantula's first time being part of the crew, and she gets accepted because she manages to save them from a load of police officers chasing them. Then it cuts 5 years, kind of like the trailer, where everybody is struggling to get a job. Wolf fails to get one, and then he goes home to find out somebody's been stealing priceless items made of MacGuffinite. And there's also a load of unpaid bills and an eviction notice. On TV, the chief of police, the Lois woman, who is actually now the police commissioner, is struggling to figure out who it could be. So Wolf decides that if he helps her and manages to find the criminal, then people will be able to respect him. Oh yeah, also Snake bursts in and he's weirdly happy, which is kind of unusual, and he's listening to Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter, which really caught me off guard. They did a similar thing in Dogman where he was listening to Flowers by Miley Cyrus while he was on his phone, and it's in like a similar context to the use of espresso in Bad Guys 2. So that's a funny coincidence. So anyway, they decide to help the police commissioner, and there's a funny gag where they each appear one by one, and the police commissioner gets more irritated. Eventually they figure out that all the robberies are perfectly timed with every time Snake goes out. So they go to the Lucha Libre tournament where Snake is out, and they beat the ever-loving shit out of him, and then it's revealed that he's actually just having a girlfriend. And I will say, this Lucha Libre tournament is actually like a really fun set piece for the movie to use. Diane also comes in, and she's also visits Professor Marmalade because he knows about what MacGuffinite can do, and it's revealed that one of the bad girls, Kitty, visited him. Professor Marmalade forces her to play a game of Connect 4. It's not even like a parody or anything, they straight up put the Connect 4 box in the movie. He's also really jacked now, which I found really funny. Eventually they end up with the bad girls and they have like proper motivations, which I appreciate. And what I do like is that even though they give you a reason to empathize with her, they don't like force a redemption upon Kitty. Another thing is that I really love what they did with the police commissioner. As you know, she really hates the bad guys and she has a suspicion that they're the one doing these robberies. Eventually, she learns to trust them and actually helps them a great deal. Lovely redemption arc there. So the bad girls threaten to reveal that Diane was the crimson paw of the bad guys, don't even help them. There's a really great scene where they have to decide whether they should just help themselves or save Diane's reputation. The climax in space is quite intense and actually really fun. The thing they cut to after it really caught me off guard and made me laugh even though I probably shouldn't have. The ending does definitely feel like it's setting up another movie, which apparently they are developing a third one, and I could not be more excited for it after how this one turned out. There's also a mid-credit scene that's setting up something with Professor Marmalade, which I assume will be explored in the third movie. I think one of the things I appreciate most about this movie is that the long runtime allows it to breathe or let you learn something new about a character. It remembers to have quiet moments. It's genuinely great storytelling, and I think that's one of the things these DreamWorks sequels excel at the most, expanding the world, giving us new and memorable characters, giving old characters more layers and depth. Another thing is that the dynamic between Diane and Wolf and their chemistry is excellent. If you ship them, buckle up. I honestly think this might be my favorite movie of the year so far, and it's very likely it's somewhere in my top 15 DreamWorks movies. I can't recommend it enough. Go watch it when you get the chance. It's not the only movie I saw this week though. I also saw the new Fantastic Four, and honestly I thought it was really good. I don't think it's the greatest MCU movie, but in terms of their recent ones, it's definitely one of the best. I love the vibes and aesthetics it has, mainly in the first act. I'm a fan of the production design, the world building, and the visual effects are stellar, although there are a couple of shots where it looks kind of clunky. Although the scenes in space do look stunning, kind of like the bad guys too. The leads are all likable, and they make a believable family. I liked their dynamics. I definitely did like the first two acts more than the third act, as the third act utilizes a cliche I really hate. It's that cliche where they make you think that a character is dead just for them to not actually end up dying like 3 minutes later. Smurfs used that. I don't know, I guess this movie does it fine, I suppose. Otherwise, it was really good, and I am hopeful for the future of the MCU. Just like how the Bad Guys 2 may be excited for the future of DreamWorks, baby. Wait, what the hell is this? Why do I get the feeling I'm going to somehow end up at this movie opening night? Anyway, thanks for watching, like and subscribe for more, and I shall see you next time. I'm sorry the audio in this video is so piss poor quality. We're going through a heat wave and I have a fan on in the background.